charter requires certain language and certain processes to move forward when a city manager is suspended. At the last meeting, the preliminary resolution was passed, which provided for his buyout. This is the final resolution. Mr. Rutherford has accepted that buyout. It's an agreement, I guess. I can't speak for him, but he's not contesting this, and he's not asked for his hearing. All you need to do is vote on the issue.
Vote on what?
On the final resolution, as well as this budget amendment to pay the buyout.
I have a question. Have we already paid them?
Yes.
That's all. Thank you.
Can you make a motion out of what he says?
It'll be what you got out in your iPad, which is in accordance with the Crossville City Charter, Article 8, Section 2. You will move for the adoption of the final resolution removing David Rutherford as Crossville City Manager effective immediately and pass a budget amendment on first reading.
I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second. It'll be the same as the preliminary resolution, correct? Second.
If it's not the exact same, it's very similar. It's just the only changes is that it's called a final resolution.
Roll call vote, please.
Wait, I would like to make a comment.
Yes, sir.
I'll not support this motion because I believe the act to suspend Mr. Rutherford was a grievous act. It was wrongfully, he was charged wrongfully for acts that he did not perform. I went down to accounting, went over the allegations. I find them to not be satisfactory. This council failed to have an audit to prove that a man either did or did not act improperly. And all we did is we took 3 people who made allegations and we fired the best city manager we ever had. I'll not support this motion.
Have any other discussion amongst the council?
Mayor, I've got some questions.
Yes, sir.
Got one for you and a couple for Will, if he doesn't mind. Who wrote the resolution that you read at our special call meeting?
Consulted with the city manager and another local attorney who was not connected with the city.
So the city manager, ex-city manager David Rutherford had input on a resolution that was read for him to accept half his salary as part of his dismissal.
He was consulted.
Will, I got some questions, please. I got 2, 3 questions for you. Did David Rutherford spend over $5,000 on expenses relating to the total Horizon project that you have seen?
Well, preface my answer with, I've not reviewed the actual expenditures, but only emails which have gone back and forth between the council, Mr. Rutherford, and things that Mr. Rutherford said, and copies of the invoices there. Any specifics would need to be addressed to the finance director who can investigate that situation. But as per reviewing those emails, it does seem that there was over $5,000 spent on that one item.
Were any of these expenses?
Or project, excuse me, not item.
Were any of these expenses approved by the city council that was associated with the Horizon initiative?
Not to my knowledge. Again, that would need to be addressed further with the finance director.
Got one more question for you. I know you've seen this invoice. Did David Rutherford, in your opinion, withhold an invoice from this council for the amount of $1,635 dated January 31st, 2016, when he was asked 3 times to produce all charges relating to the Horizon initiative? And that same charge I'm talking about shows he received on March 11th by email. And that
I can say that my involvement with emails that transpired, Councilman Harris requested all invoices related to the project. And I can't speak for each member of council, but I know from those emails that Councilman Harris didn't see that invoice. Councilman Curley's expressed that he's not seeing that. I don't know if, I can't speak for the other three councilmen. That's all I got. Sorry.
Mike?
Can I make one point?
Yes.
On this motion, the city manager authorized that we go ahead and do the buyout because it was previously approved in the preliminary motion. If this motion is not approved, then we may have, we need to approve this motion because the money's already gone out. So the buyout needs to be approved, or we're gonna have an issue in that regard. And that's the budget amendment, not necessarily the final resolution, so they can be taken separately if needed.
Mayor, if anybody else has spoken, I have one more.
Yes.
Yes, I have the floor now. Okay. On previous occasions, this council and other city managers expended money greater than $5,000. And nothing was ever done to them. Nothing. Previous to the resolution to dismiss Mr. Rutherford, an earlier attempt because the council failed to have confidence in him, basically. When it came time to fire Mr. Rutherford, they just found a reason. That's what that was about. And I find this grievous, and I don't find it justified. That's all I have to say.
Mayor, I've got a question for Councilman Souza on a statement he just made, if you do not mind.
Yes.
I would like for Councilman Souza to provide proof by name of city manager and expenses he is talking about that he just previously mentioned. The city manager spent over $5,000 without the city council's approval.
I'll address that.
Okay.
He wants to go there. You approved, or September 21st, the engineer, Mr. Wolf, was fired. Mr. Curtis gave him a $9,000 package to walk away. There's no invoice for that, boys and girls. That's one of them. Yet you, I had to say names, in January 2008, after Mr. Westberg was fired, you fired Jack Miller for paying out $6,000 without approval. I mean, it's like, it depends on who it is if we're gonna enforce anything. I could go on, but I'm not gonna turn this into a circus.
We're ready for a roll call vote, please.
Mayor, can I make one more comment? I'm sorry, I should have said this earlier. One result, if this action doesn't pass, one result of that will be that Mr. Rutherford will continue to receive his salary until final resolution is passed. We will effectively have two different city managers. I want to point that out before anybody makes a vote on this. I apologize for not doing that earlier.
Thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Souza?
No.
Councilmember White? Mayor Pro Tem Harris?
Aye.
Councilmember Curley?
Pass?
Mayor Mayberry?
Aye.
Councilmember Curley?
No.